The Roman Empire of the 6th century was a shadow of its former glory. The West had fallen to barbarian invasions, while only the Eastern Roman Empire, known to history as Byzantium, survived, ruling from the mighty city of Constantinople. Many believed the glory of Rome was lost forever, until one man emerged. His name was Flavius Belisarius, born around 500 AD in the region of Thrace, near today's Bulgaria. Belisarius came from humble origins. His father was said to be a small landowner. His mother, unknown to history. Nothing suggested greatness, yet destiny had chosen him. At the same time, a young emperor rose to the throne, Justinian I. Ambitious and brilliant, Justinian dreamed of restoring the Roman Empire to its old borders, but he needed a general worthy of such a task. In Belisarius, he found that man. Together, they would fight wars that shook the world. The first great test came not in the west, but in the east. Across the frontier lay the Sassanid Empire of Persia, ruled by the powerful Shahanshah Khosrow I Anushirvan. From their capital at Ctesiphon in Mesopotamia, the Persians had long been the rivals of Rome. In 530 AD, war erupted. At the Battle of Dara, Belisarius commanded just 25,000 men, against a Persian force nearly twice that size. But instead of charging recklessly, he dug trenches, fortified his lines, and forced the Persians into a trap. When the moment was right, Belisarius counterattacked. The result, a stunning Roman victory. For the first time in decades, the Eastern Roman army had humbled Persia. Yet fortune is fickle. The very next year, at the Battle of Callinicum 531, the Persians struck back. Belisarius fought bravely, but the Romans were defeated. Still, the Dara victory secured Belisarius's reputation. Justinian now saw him as the savior of his dreams of reconquest. The emperor's eyes now turned westward, to North Africa. Once the breadbasket of Rome, the region was now controlled by the Vandals, a Germanic people who had carved out their own kingdom with Carthage as their capital. The Vandals disrupted trade and threatened Rome's food supply, so Justinian sent Belisarius. In 533 AD, with just 15,000 men, Belisarius sailed across the Mediterranean. It was a daring gamble. The Vandals, under their king Gelimer, marched out to meet him. At the Battle of Ad Decimum, Belisarius divided and defeated the enemy forces. Carthage fell, and within months another decisive clash, the Battle of Tricamarum 534, ended Vandal rule forever. In a lightning campaign, Belisarius had destroyed an entire kingdom. North Africa was Roman again. After Africa, Justinian's dream grew bolder. The eternal city itself, Rome, had been in the hands of the Ostrogoths for decades. Could it be reclaimed? In 535 AD, Belisarius marched into Italy. One by one, cities fell, and then, in 536, he entered Rome. For the first time in almost a century, Roman troops walked again through their ancient capital. But the Ostrogoths would not surrender easily. In 537 to 538, they laid siege to Rome. Food ran short, disease spread, yet Belisarius refused to yield. He stood upon the walls, fighting alongside his soldiers, directing every move. After months of brutal struggle, the Ostrogoths withdrew. Years of fighting followed, but Belisarius pressed on. Finally marching to the Ostrogoth capital of Ravenna, the king surrendered. Italy was once more part of the Roman world. With brilliance, courage, and loyalty, Belisarius had brought Rome back to life. Belisarius had achieved miracles. He had humbled Persia, destroyed the Vandals, and reclaimed Rome. And yet his reward was not glory, but suspicion. Emperor Justinian, jealous of his general's fame, recalled him from command more than once. Whispers of treason followed him. At one point, Belisarius was even accused of conspiracy and briefly imprisoned. Though he was later pardoned, his final years were lived in quiet disgrace. Still, history remembers him differently. To his soldiers, he was a leader who shared their hardships. To his enemies, he was a master of strategy and mercy.